Hello garden lovers. Look at this magnolia behind me. Absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? Hasn't been frosted. It's looking really good. It's such an incredible shape. It really holds that space around it. Beautiful. You've got to enjoy these. Well, they're quite fleeting magnolias, so you've got to enjoy the fleeting moments while you can. The woodland's looking great as well. All the narcissi. There's primroses everywhere. A huge range of narcissi as well. All different varieties, clumping up really well, seeding around. Wood anemones, again, really looking great. And the strappy leaves of the bluebells coming through. It's such a gorgeous time of year. It's such a treat, and it's just fabulous all year round. Anyway, this is the area I've been working on, and I had all those plants in pots, and I just thought, well, I better start getting them in the ground because it's that time of year. So I'm going to turn the camera around and show you what I've been up to. I've been placing some plants, and the hornbeams are just about to burst into leaf, so quite soon these should be greened up and we'll start seeing the structure that I'm trying to create here. But yeah, I had things like this brunnera, there's some euphorbias through there, there's some grasses, the calamagrostis, brachytricha, there are some astrantias through here, but then also plants that I healed in. So we've got some salvias there, some nepeta over there. I've got the libertia, which were, well, there's huge clumps of them. We dug them up with the digger, absolutely massive. I mean, that's actually been split already. The libertia before were all clumped up right at the end of the garden, right through there. That's where they all were. So I split them up, and now there's a clump there, there's a clump there, I put a clump in there, I put a clump there, I put a clump there, and at the bottom of that osmanthus as well. So now there's a lovely sort of rhythm running through, and that's what I'm doing with the planting generally. So the idea is to sort of try and create this lovely rhythm and landscape view. So here we've got some miscanthus. There's another group of miscanthus over there, and there's actually a group towards the back there. So I generally plant in 3s and 5s, and your 2 just means that your eye goes from one to the other and back again. So with 3, you're just creating that sense of rhythm, really. This is another key view, and you can see there's a clump of the hornbeam here. There's a clump of the hornbeam there. It'll be in a couple of weeks, we'll be able to see that. And this is the Deschampsia grass that I'm going to add onto the other side. There's a nice rhythm just running through there as well. Here we've got, that's a pennisetum, and it's the same pennisetum dotted through there and all the way along there. So it's going to sort of guide the eye through this path, soften the edge of the path, and take us up to the seating area through here. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about spacing here. I think a lot of amateur gardeners have a problem with spacing, because obviously if you plant them too close, you're going to be shifting them, digging them up and moving them in a year or so. But if you plant them too far apart, you're not going to get a nice clump like this. So roughly I space and calculate about 5 to 6 plants per square meter roughly, and then you get an idea of the spacing there, how that'll just turn into a nice clump and soften the edge of this path here. And then behind we've got 3 Euphorbia polychroma, and then things like that, calamagrostis brachytricha, and they'll grow into one clump, and it's a lovely feathery grass. But then this is where the artistry comes in, and this is where the fun comes in. There I've got that one thalictrum that was already on site that I just dug up, and that's going to get really tall. It's going to get up to 1.8 meters tall or something. So just having one of those is really nice, and actually some of them are coming through anyway, and they're actually going to grow between the calamagrostis, and that doesn't bother me at all. It's going to be quite wild in its look. This is a miscanthus Graziella with lovely sort of white flower and seed heads. So that's going to get backlit as I look from it from inside, but that gets taller. And just because I'm quite near the path here, doesn't mean everything should be short, okay? Because if you bring some taller plants towards the path, it creates foreground, creates interest, creates depth of field, especially if it's a wispy plant. If it's a big sort of shrubby thing, you know, like that myrtle, that'll block the eye. But with these perennials and grasses, you can really play around with them. I appreciate some people get paralysed by not knowing where to start. Well, the place to start is just literally by placing some plants down. Place a few plants down, keep walking around, keep looking at it, keep thinking how it's going to grow, how it's going to develop, and then move them. You know, if you want to, start moving them around, just shift them. But I'm going right back to this boundary now, and you can start seeing, you know, what I'm trying to achieve. And then we start looking back, and we can start seeing how it's piecing together a little bit more. And then the planting is going to carry on in these areas, really take the garden right out into these areas as well. But that's phase 628, I think.